So everyone, this is my third section on the moon. Basically, we had just talked about the Mar and the breccia, and the question is asked, how do we know these things? Where did we get these rocks? And the reason is that we actually went to the moon and collected them. In a series of missions for the Apollo missions, we sent astronauts to the moon and set up various different scientific equipment and rovers and things of that type, and collected a variety of different moon rocks from different locations. So here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon in July 1969 AD, and these missions continued until about 1973. So we weren't the only ones. The USSR, the Soviet Union, sent a number of landers called the Luna landers that went to the moon. They collected a large quantity of interesting scientific data, discovered many things, including the solar wind that we talked about in the formation of the solar system. But our United States missions, these were the ones that landed, 11 through 17. Number 13, if you've seen the movie, obviously never made it to the landing stage, but they were able to come back safely. You'll notice that most of them are on the Maria, because the assumption was that the Maria would be relatively free of boulders and craters and would be flat enough for our astronauts to land safely. Number 16 was the exception that did land in the highlands. So from space, we currently have satellites orbiting, and we can see evidence on the moon of those landers. So we can see the lunar module here, and this is the LRRR, known as the Laser Retroreflector unit, and basically it's this unit right here. We can send a pulse of laser light to the moon. It will hit that LRRR and then come back and bounce back to the Earth. And with that, knowing the speed of light, we can determine the distance between the Earth and the moon accurate to within 1 to 2 centimeters, which is a really amazing thing. So if anybody's ever actually seen the Big Bang Theory, there was an episode where they were firing lasers at the moon. And Penny's boyfriend was afraid that they were going to blow up the moon, but they told him the laser was set on stun. But it's just light, and they sent that laser beam to this spot. They basically fired it at the moon, and this laser reflector sent it back to them. The Apollo 14, we see astronauts' footpath. We see the shadow of the lunar module. Apollo 16, the famous flag is planted there, which probably no longer has red and white stripes on it. It's probably now bleached white because of the intensity of the solar radiation. And over here is the Lunar Reconnaissance Vehicle, the moon buggy that they drove around while they were up there. And then the very last mission here was Apollo 17, so they can see several different paths that were taken. The Lunar Reconnaissance Vehicle was abandoned over here, and yeah, lots of evidence that we did in fact actually get to the moon. So this was the photograph of the moon from a photograph of the Earth, pardon me, from the moon. Here's the photograph of the flag that was planted. You can see it's a bit crumpled up, so they had some wires in there to basically hold it out. And then here we see the moon, the Earth rising. This is Earthrise coming up. And images like this are some of the most popular ones that NASA has. We get more, NASA gets more requests for these photographs of Earthrise than pretty much any other photographs that they have. And then here on the surface is a powdered footprint left over by one of the astronauts. And again, this is the regolith that they're stepping into, and they didn't know when they arrived how thick this could be. If the regolith was too thick, it could have swallowed the entire mission. It could have, they could have ended up falling into a huge powdered mess and would have had a hard time lifting off again. But fortunately, this is a fairly thin layer, but very fine-grained and tended to stick to a lot of things. Okay, so that's the end of the section on the moon.